Today's video is going to be all about let statements. And so today's learning target is write a let statement and construct equations given real life situations. Today, you're going to learn how to translate written information into algebraic symbols and then solve the equations that represent the written relationships. So this is what a mathematical sentence is. An example of a mathematical sentence is 2z plus 12 is equal to 30. It's just like an equation, right? However, we don't know what that equation is talking about. What is the z? What does the 30 mean? The 12, the 2? And so mathematical sentences are easier to understand when everyone knows what the variables represent. A statement that describes what the variable represents is called a let statement. And I'm going to underline that because that's pretty important. So for example, for this mathematical sentence, we could say let Z equals Zola's rate of pay in dollars per hour. Note that a let statement always indicates the units of measure. So it's in dollars per hour. And so what could this mean then? If now we know that Z is Zola's rate of pay, maybe it means that she worked 2 hours for Zola's rate of pay. Maybe her rate of pay is like $15 an hour. Oh, we don't know what it is. We could figure it out. And plus 12, not sure what that 12 is for, maybe some overtime or a bonus or something, is equal to $30. Okay, so that's what a let statement is it helps us in understanding what the equation is talking about. So let's go ahead and move forward. So let's write a let statement and possibly use them to solve. So Elsie took all of her cans and bottles from home to the recycling center. The number of cans was one more than 4 times the number of bottles. She earned 12 cents for each bottle and 10 cents for each can and ended up earning $2.18 in all. How many cans and bottles did she recycle? So the first thing you want to do is define your variables using let statements. I know that word problems can be really difficult to decode and understand. I'm going to go ahead and underline some of the important stuff. So she took her cans and bottles. Those are the 2 things we know she is working with, cans and bottles, from home to the recycling center, right? A lot of this stuff is not important. So cans and bottles. The number of cans was 1 more than 4 times the number of bottles. That's really important. The number of cans was usually means like equals to, by the way, 1 more than 4 times the number of bottles, except we don't know what the number of bottles is. More important information. She earned 12 cents for each bottle and 10 cents for each can, and she ended up earning $2.18 in all. How many cans and bottles did she recycle? Right, so the first thing, define your variables using let statements. What are the 2 things she's talking about? Cans and bottles. So you know what? I'm going to let C equal the number of cans and let B equal the number of bottles. There's my let statement. C is equal to number of cans. Oops, let me go back. Oh no, of course I won't go back, right? So I'm gonna let C equal the number of cans and B equal the number of bottles because that's what we're talking about. Okay, so I just created my let statements. Now I want to write 2 equations that I could use to solve the problem. So the first one was here. The number of cans was 1 more than 4 times the number of bottles. Think back to your let statements. We let C equal the number of cans. Right here is the number of cans. So I'm going to write C was equals 1 more than 4 times the number of bottles. 4 times the number of bottles. And remember, what does the number of bottles represent? B. B represents the number of bottles from our let statement previously. C, we let C equal the number of cans, and we let B equal the number of bottles. So there's one equation. The other equation comes from here, where she gets 12 cents for each bottle and 10 cents for each can. So for every bottle she recycles, she gets 12 cents, plus for every can she recycles, she gets 10 cents. And all together, she earned $2.18. I rewrote, the words of this math problem into mathematical sentences, into equations. And I promise sometimes it's as easy as just reading the sentence and filling it in with numbers and variables, right? So the number of cans, we know we let C equal the number of cans, usually is equal to 1 more than 4 times the number of bottles. And we let B equal the number of bottles. Okay, so I know these can be really confusing at first, but becoming comfortable in decoding these words into just math symbols and variables will help a lot. Okay, so let me show what I had written here. Right, it represents that the number of cans is 1 more, represents that LC made 12 cents per bottle, 10 cents per can for a total of $2.18. Awesome. Let's try a new example. Your employee sold baseball tickets for $5. So let's start seeing what's important. I don't care about my employee. I do care that baseball tickets were $5, and I do care that soccer tickets were $20. I also care that he sold a total of 30 tickets. But you're not sure how many were soccer tickets, how many were baseball tickets. And there were a total sale of $450 for both soccer tickets and baseball tickets. So let's define our variables using let statements first. By the way, you don't always have to make your variables like the letter of whatever you're talking about, right? Bottles was B, cans was C. You could have made it A, B, X, Y. You could have made whatever variable you want because you're in charge of creating the let statements. Me though, I'm going to be a little plain and do B for number of baseball tickets sold, S for the number of soccer tickets sold. There are my let statements. Okay. Next step, I need to write 2 equations that I could use to solve the problem. So let's look back to here. Baseball tickets for $5. So I'm going to put $5 times the number of baseball tickets and $20 for the number of soccer tickets sold. And total amount is $450. He also sold a total of 30 tickets. So I'm going to have a total of 30 tickets. And what things are we talking about? We're talking about baseball tickets and soccer tickets. And you're talking about the total number of tickets. And remember from before, our number of tickets was represented by B and S. So the number of baseball tickets plus the number of soccer tickets is 30. And again, the number of baseball tickets times $5 each, plus the number of soccer tickets times $20 each, gave us that $450 total. And there it is right now on the PowerPoint. Okay, so moving on, that is it. Hopefully this video helps you in creating let statements and constructing equations to help you solve for the question and the variables. Thank you.